1600 to 1046 BC, in the era of the decline of the Shang dynasty, in the ancient battlegrounds of competing kingdoms, both sides invoked the powers of supernatural, immortal spirits. Nuwa's wrath. King Zhou made a pilgrimage to the ancient temple of goddess Nuwa, bearing incense and prayers. As he stood before her statue, a sudden gust of wind swept away the protective covering, revealing the goddess' divine form. Struck by her ethereal beauty, King Zhou let pious words escape his lips, expressing a desire to wed the goddess. He resorted to composing poems on the temple walls, unveiling his unwavering lust for Nuwa. Unbeknownst to him, this sacrilegious act deeply offended Nuwa, and she prophesied that King Zhou's reign would mark the end of the Shang dynasty. In response to his transgression, Nuwa dispatched 3 supernatural entities: a 1,000-year-old vixen spirit, Daji, a 9-headed pheasant spirit, and a jade pipa spirit, to torment King Zhou. The goddess' anger stemmed from King Zhou's 28 years of indulgence and revelry. These spirits, disguising themselves as enchanting women, captivated the king's attention, leading him to neglect his responsibilities and rule with tyranny. Bewitched by his concubine Daji, who is actually a vixen spirit disguised as a beautiful woman, King Zhou, the last ruler of Shang dynasty, oppresses his people and persecutes those who oppose him, including those who dare to speak up to him. Tragic betrayal. A brave man's heart was taken out. In accordance with an oracle casting of the bones prophecy, Zhang Ziya foresees the impending demise of Bigan, a loyal and virtuous advisor to King Zhou. To prepare for this fate, Zhang Ziya bestows a protective charm upon Bigan. During a lavish banquet hosted by King Zhou, a group of seemingly divine beings graced the occasion, sparking the king's joy. However, these immortals are in fact cunning fox spirits in disguise. Bigan, also in attendance, senses an unsettling presence among them. His suspicions are confirmed when, under the influence of alcohol, the fox spirits inadvertently reveal their true identities by exposing their tails. Determined to uncover the truth, Bigan assembles a group of soldiers to trace the fox spirits to their lair, where they meet their demise. Bigan ingeniously crafts a cloak from the fox hides and offers it to King Zhou. Daji, upon seeing the cloak, is overcome with horror and sadness, harboring a hidden grudge against Bigan. Shortly thereafter, Daji informs King Zhou of a supposed heart ailment, claiming that only a delicate 7-aperture heart can alleviate her suffering. In the palace, no one possesses such a heart except for Bigan, revered as a saint. Demonstrating incredible resolve, Bigan consumes the protective charm provided by Zhang Ziya, extracts his own heart without immediate consequence or a drop of bloodshed, and presents it to King Zhou. Following Zhang Ziya's instructions, Bigan departs the palace without looking back. As he nears his home, a female peddler calls out from behind, offering cheap cabbages without stems, in a rhetorical reference to the plant's heart-like stem. Intrigued, Bigan turns to inquire about the unusual offer, asking how cabbages could exist without stems. The woman responds with a wicked grin, remarking that just as cabbages cannot survive without stems, men cannot live without hearts. Stricken by this revelation, Bigan cries out, collapses, and meets his end. Unbeknownst to him, the peddler is none other than the jade pipa spirit in disguise. Daji's invention. Here is a list of the variety of projects created by Daji and King Zhou to torture and kill for fun. The bronze toaster. Daji initially proposed the bronze toaster as a means of inflicting torment and carrying out executions. This imposing bronze apparatus stands at a height of exceeding 20 feet and spans 8 feet in width. It boasts 2 wheels on either side for mobility, and its interior comprises 3 tiers of burning fire stacked atop 3 layers of charcoal. To execute Grand Counselor Meibo, individuals condemned to this fate would be undressed and securely bound before being lowered into the pit. During Meibo's execution, large fans were employed to intensify the flames. The snake pit. The snake pit, another instrument of torment, consisted of a 25-feet wide pit excavated beneath the star-peaking belvedere. It housed venomous spiders and highly poisonous snakes. After the pit was completed, 72 unfortunate maidens, whose hair had been shaved and clothing removed, were bound and cast into the pit to become prey for the snakes. The wine pool and meat forest. On one side of the snake pit, you would find the wine pool, and on the opposite side, there was the meat forest. These 2 attractions came together to create a charming park that led to the star-peaking belvedere. The organizers selected 50 young women and 50 eunuchs, and they paired them up, creating 50 pairs in total. Each pair was then playfully tossed into the wine pool, where they were encouraged to enjoy the wine while showcasing their swimming skills. Once they had indulged in the pool's offerings, the pairs were escorted to the meat forest, where they could feast on a lavish spread of dishes. By sunset, a few pairs would then be beaten to a bloody pulp and secretly fed to Daji to ease her need for human flesh. The Deer Gallery. Daji had selected the Deer Gallery as a guaranteed method to eliminate Zhang Ziya, who had been assigned the seemingly impossible task of constructing the Deer Gallery. This towering edifice, standing at a staggering 49 feet in height, twice the dimensions of the star-peaking belvedere, boasted an opulent design featuring jade columns, marble floors, roofs and ceilings adorned with legendary gemstones, and railings crafted from exquisite pearls and sea corals.